Hey everybody, welcome to Flash Fried. How's it going out there in the universe? Great, awesome. Let's look at some news.
7.62 millimeter full metal jacket.
That sounds like a reference I would get if I'd seen that movie.
We were just talking about that while you were gone, TJ, that the reason that, because you love Stanley Kubrick, the reason that you haven't watched Full Metal Jacket is not because you're adverse to war movies. It's because you were afraid of this character right here, TJ.
Oh yeah, why?
You were afraid to look in the dark mirror that is Private Gomer Pyle.
Okay. Doesn't he kill a bunch of people in himself?
He kills one person in himself.
Oh, okay.
He kills his gunny.
Well, I know who I'm killing. That's all I'm saying.
Who's the gunny?
You might want to fucking ease off the Gomer Pyle comparisons, or I might fucking prove you a little more right than you thought.
Jeez Louise.
Damn, TJ.
Fucking violent threats. You are Gomer Pyle.
Yeah, maybe I am. Central pastor holds services again. Here we go.
Good for him.
Central pastor Tony Spell has again defied the coronavirus stay-at-home order and house arrest order by preaching in a religious service Sunday morning. Our media partners at The Advocate report. Spell was seen at the Life Tabernacle Church where congregants sang and held signs reading, "I stand with Pastor Spell," the newspaper reports. An ankle monitor could be seen through the cuffs of his pants, The Advocate reports. Spell was arrested earlier this week and booked into parish prison on misdemeanor counts after a protester accused the Pentecostal preacher of nearly hitting him on Sunday with one of the church's school buses along Hooper Road.
You know what I like? The thing I like about this is I know it's like the rest of the public, for the most part, sees this guy as a complete, moron that has no idea what he's talking about. But I'm pretty sure in his mind, it's like that fucking scene from Braveheart where he's like, "Freedom!"
Oh, yeah.
And they're fucking the axe is coming down and shit to fucking execute William Wallace and shit. It's like, come on, dude. You're not fucking fighting for your life. Or
Every
freedom.
man dies. Not every man really lives.
Exactly.
I mean, this guy is definitely LARPing a, revolutionary or something. He definitely feels like he's doing a big service to everybody and he's being a real martyr for the cause.
Yep.
But to me, this is just another example of, and I know we probably talked about it the last time we covered these idiots running churches, but it's just another example of why, and I hate to sound like a fucking 2007 YouTube neckbeard here, but why religion needs to be dismantled and thrown into the fucking dustbin of history. Because here we are at a time of unprecedented danger for the country. And these fucking religious nut jobs are actively working against the rest of us and going, "No, we're going to do whatever we want." And it's like, man, what
You can't
more
stop
of a red
us from
flag
worshiping
do you
Jesus.
need? Like if the fucking Chinese invade, or the Christians going to go take up arms for the Chinese and be like, "No, we're not fighting for America." Like what? Like at what point are we going to realize that?
Yeah, they're not on our side.
They're not on the side, and they're all interwoven into this idea of America. Like they like to espouse all this American shit. They like to put up their flags and mix their government with their guns and their God. But when it comes down to it, we know which way the fucking wind is blowing. They're against this fucking country and everybody in it. And how long are we going to ignore that? Like how long? What's it going to take?
It reminds me of that, doesn't it remind you of that Manson song, TJ? Do you love your guns? Yeah. Do you love your God? Yeah. Do you love your government? Fuck yeah. That's really essentially it. A lot of organizations have analyzed these kind of protests, we need to end the quarantine. And they're made up mainly of fundamentalist Christians, like Second Amendment people, big, like, they're coming for our guns, and anti-vaxxers. It's all the same crowd of morons. Is the crowd of morons out there going, "And the lockdown so I can eat a Big Mac and I can go to a movie theater and spread my COVID-19 to you."
And in another,
you know what's great
twist,
is they have these fucking. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Paul.
I was just gonna say a lot of the fucking local and state governments are stacked with people who believe this shit too.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's like,
Oh yeah,
we're all beholden to people who believe an obvious fucking fairy tale.
Yeah. Not only that, but you have people who are in the the pundit sphere who take the side of these people, not in a legitimate way. They're not actually out there protesting. They're not actually out there, taking the risks that these people are taking by doing this stuff. But they're there cheerleading them and it's all because they want the economy to reopen, because they don't really give a shit about how many people die. So like there's this perverse sort of incestuous relationship between the business interest and these fundamentalist Christians. And I guess there always has been.
And you gotta love how much they're fucking people over too. So it's like they want to reopen these businesses, right? Okay, so people go, oh yeah, they reopen those businesses, but all these companies are getting huge bailouts from the fucking government at the same time. They're getting a bunch of loans, so they're gonna make a bunch of money off this fucking pandemic. Look at Amazon, look at Jeff Bezos. So it's like, oh, it's horrible, it's so bad. We're doing all we can to help, but we also need to reopen, guys. Come on. I mean, Trump just declared those meat factories. Basically, it's what's it? The Defense Production Act. They have to be reopened.
Right. Even though they had 80% of the workers there had fucking coronavirus or some crazy number like that.
You don't matter. That like Tyson's and Purdue and all these other fucking companies, profits matter more than your life.
America needs its pork.
Well, you know what they said was funny? What they said was that the food supply was breaking down. It's like, well, last time I checked, meat's not the only food you can eat. So is that really true?
Well, last time I checked, it was.
Okay, well, I stand corrected. There you go.
Washington Post blasted for claiming Trump allies are amplifying Biden accuser Tara Reade. The Washington Post was slammed late Monday night for its bizarre framing of the latest developments that emerged surrounding the allegations made by Tara Reade against former Vice President Joe Biden. Reade, who came forward last month accusing then-Senator Biden of sexual assault when she was a Senate staffer in 1993, has had more corroborating evidence surface in recent days. A Larry King Live clip from 1993 purportedly showing Reade's mother calling in on the show anonymously and alluding to her daughter's problems with a prominent senator was brought to light on Friday. And on Monday, two more people, a former neighbor and a former colleague of Reade's, came forward to back her claims after conversations they had back in the 90s. However, a piece published by the Post raised eyebrows with its original headline that read, "Developments and allegations against Biden amplify efforts to question his behavior." And the headline here says, "Trump allies highlight new claims regarding allegations," like as if no one but Trump supporters could possibly treat this story with any credibility or something.
Yeah, there's two levels of interest in this story: Trump supporters and everybody else who knows better. You know what I mean? No, fuck that. No, plenty of non-Trump supporters are also pretty disturbed by the fact that this dude might have fucking force finger banged a chick. And look, dude, if she's the one that came out about it, there's a good chance it wasn't some isolated incident. You know what I mean? Right. If it did happen, it wasn't some momentary dalliance or something. This dude's been a politician for a long fucking time.
Right, and we've seen him get handsy with women and girls just like on camera, like when you wouldn't even think when you think that any politician with a brain in his head would be like, now's not the time. He's doing it right there in front of the cameras with the cameras rolling, people all around. He's just like brazenly like, yeah, I'm gonna sniff your hair up a little bit. You smell real nice. Yeah,
let's remember too what happened to a lot of. I mean, like look at Al Franken. A few inappropriate images and some stuff like that came out. It's like, nope, you're done.
Yeah, it's so funny to me that Al Franken resigned for basically like hover handing over a woman's breast as a fucking obvious joke, and he had to resign. But Joe Biden can
wasn't there another allegation against him too that he actually like grabbed a chick's tit while they were taking a picture?
He grabbed her butt or something.
Or something. There was something where
the only thing I remember about the Al Franken thing, and maybe I'm wrong on this, I remember him hover handing over a tit for a fucking comedic picture. And I remember that there was some accusation that he wrote some scene in the show that they were doing for the soldiers. They were like a USO thing. He wrote like in a kissing scene, and supposedly, he did it just for his own gratification and not as part of the show or whatever. But like, how do you prove something like that? Like, it was so much more minor, the shit that, that Al Franken was accused of. It was like really like sort of nebulous, vague, not really a concrete sort of like, oh, well, this is like obvious sexual misconduct or whatever. But Al Franken, just instantly resigns. Joe Biden has not even addressed these fucking allegations. Like, he hasn't even been asked about it by anyone in the mainstream press. He hasn't made a statement. He hasn't gone on, he hasn't done like, all right, it's a town hall thing where I'm going to discuss these allegations or any of that shit. It's been like, basically, he's been ignoring it, and no one's really been holding his feet to the fire. I mean, he's not even really made many press appearances in general anyway. So it's just really it's a weird situation.
I mean, and the thing a lot of conservatives have been pointing out about this is that during the Kavanaugh hearings, it was like you couldn't get away from it. It was like Brett Kavanaugh is a horrible person. He did all this shit. He's accused of having this sexual assault thing. They got blackout drunk. He did inappropriate things. And with Biden, I was reading an analysis of this about these news networks, and MSNBC has only mentioned this one time.
Right. So, I mean, like, it just shows that when the shoe's on the other foot, that these parties just totally reverse places, and the Democrats are every bit as defensive of, the sexual predators as they accuse the Republicans of being, and vice versa.
Well, it's not just the corporations and the news media that are doing that, though.
I agree.
There are gigantic swaths of normal, everyday, average, politically active people who are doing the same thing. Like, they're desperately trying to bury this and ignore it and talk around it and make excuses for it. And you know what I mean? Like, there's no excuse. Like, either he did or didn't do it. And if he didn't do it, he should come out and say that he didn't do it. He should call it a fucking lie. And he should take this chick to court for slander.
Well, the thing is that there's no way to be neutral in something like this, because if you jumped on the Trump train, you're heading that direction. So if Trump did something bad, you have to go, well, not really. If you're on the Biden train going the other direction, you have to go, not really, because then what are they going to do? Oh, now I'm not going to support Biden now, because we know what their line on that is. If you don't support Biden, you're voting for Trump.
It's this poisonous lesser of two evils idea that really was the idea that got me to stop voting. Like, I talk about other aspects of voting, but really, it's this stupid fucking false lesser of two evils choice that I'm constantly presented with voting. I just don't want to make it anymore.
Right.
But it's that idea that leads to this. People are willing to excuse Joe Biden being a total fucking pervert.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, well, it's just like...
I don't know, I wasn't in the room or anything.
Right, sure, yeah.
I don't know, Paul. Where were you that day?
Yeah.
Under the advice of my attorney, I plan on taking the Fifth Amendment.
Of course.
But it just shows, like, look, like when the Kavanaugh shit was going on, all the Democrats like, we believe. And all the Republicans like, nope, lies. And now it's just like both those positions are just like exactly reversed.
Exactly.
So it just shows it as naked and transparent tribalistic bullshit.
Yeah, it sucks. Which sex offender do you want to be president, TJ?
Biden camp reportedly pushing New York Times report in talking points to combat Tara Reade claims. The Biden camp reportedly is relying on a New York Times report in talking points being circulated to combat the explosive sexual assault allegations made by the candidate's former Senate staffer, Tara Reade. BuzzFeed News reported on Tuesday that despite strong denials, the campaign has issued to various media outlets aides for former Vice President Joe Biden are taking Reade seriously enough behind the scenes to coordinate messaging among other Democrats to try to cast the matter as one that's been thoroughly vetted and determined to be unfounded. The talking points reportedly read, Biden believes that all women have the right to be heard and that and have their claims thoroughly reviewed. In this case, a thorough review by the New York Times has led to the truth. This incident did not happen. According to the copies BuzzFeed News obtained from two individual Democrat operatives, the talking point continues. Here's the bottom line. Vice President Joe Biden has spent over 40 years in public life, 36 years in the Senate, 7 Senate campaigns, 2 previous presidential runs, 2 vice presidential campaigns, and 8 years in the White House. There has never been a complaint, allegation, hint, or rumor of any impropriety or inappropriate conduct like this regarding him ever. Well, that's a lie.
That's clearly a lie.
I mean, like video, like the Daily Show, even back in the day, covered that like Biden was weird and handsy with women.
Well, I mean, okay. So
I mean,
let's be honest here.
That's
though.
That's not on the same level.
What's being alleged in the clip collections that we've all seen of him sniffing people and being too close and shit. Is that an infraction on their personal space? Yes. Is it the same thing as pushing them up against the wall and force finger banging them? No.
No, but it kind of leads one to question, like, okay, if he's willing to engage in this level of inappropriate conduct when cameras are present, like, what level of inappropriate conduct is he willing to engage in when they're not?
Right.
And then, there's the fact that, there's been, like, at least 3 people have corroborated this account at this point. The mother, back in 1993, corroborated this, and 2 people that she spoke to at the time have corroborated this. Now, that's not to say that this is like, oh, it's a open shut thing. I mean, like, there's still ambiguity and there's still doubt, obviously. But like this accusation, it just seems like the credible corroborating factors just seem like they continue to increase.
And unfortunately, the media is complicit in it, and you see that here. I mean, of course, Fox News wants this narrative to go out because they want Trump to be reelected. Yeah. Of course, the New York Times wants to push that Joe Biden is totally innocent. There's never been a hint of impropriety. I mean, come on.
There is a chance that this is a swift voting. You know what I mean?
And of course, yeah, of course. But I mean, and another thing is, this is not the only sexual assault allegation against Biden. Other women have come forward and said that he did things that made them uncomfortable. None of them have quite claimed to the extent that Tara Reid has. But there has been some other allegations here. So this idea that this is like, oh no, this is the totally never before, is not exactly accurate. But I mean, what are you gonna do? The Democrats are not backing down from Biden. He's staying in. But I mean, I think at the very least, Biden needs to go out and address these fucking allegations in a direct fucking way. I guess that they don't want. I guess they feel like if he does that, it's going to lend them more credibility, perhaps. But
I don't know.
I don't think there's any way for him to avoid it. It just seems like to me,
if I were in Biden's position and somebody came out of nowhere with a completely false allegation trying to fucking impugn my character, you wouldn't be able to counsel me not to make a public statement about it.
Right.
Especially if it became a giant news story. Like if it's just some wackadoo or whatever and it goes away.
And it's like, okay, well,
But if it becomes this giant news story and she's going on fucking, CBS This Morning and shit and crying about it and telling the story and it's totally fucking false.
Right.
Nobody's going to be able to counsel me that the best way to go is to remain silent and ignore it. It's like, no.
Do you think the DNC or with anyone with this campaign wants a Biden to come out, like maybe a press conference, but if Biden takes any questions on this and stumbles or fumbles or whatever, that could be the end of his campaign.
Well, I believe the reason is because he did this, and he's old, and his ability to defend shit that he did fucking 30 years ago
has diminished significantly.
Is significantly diminished for sure.
Well, let's move on. Pence comes under fire for going maskless at Mayo Clinic. You see everyone else is wearing a mask.
Yeah.
But Mike Pence refuses. He will not do it.
And not shocking, another super hardcore fundy Christian.
Yeah. Actually, probably the most fundy Christian in the Trump administration, really. Vice President Mike Pence chose not to wear a face mask Tuesday during a tour of the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota, an apparent violation of the world-renowned medical center's policy requiring them. So why'd they let him?
So can I explain to you why this is totally sociopathic?
Yeah.
People have this thing in their head when it comes to these masks that you're wearing them to protect yourself from shit getting in. But that's not the case. You're actually wearing that mask to protect the people around you from your spittle.
Right.
100%.
And so what he's saying here is he thinks he's making some statement like, I do not fear. But really what he's saying is, I don't care about anybody in here's life. I'm going to spit and sneeze and fart and throw fucking saliva all over every one of them. It's like, what?
Yeah, that would be crazy. The fart. What spread COVID-19 truly? The Chinese fart.
The fart, dude.
I want to know why he was allowed to do this. I mean, I get it. He's the fucking vice president, but I don't care. If I was fucking in charge of the Mayo Clinic, I'd be like, if you're not wearing a mask, you're not coming in. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't care if you're the emperor of the goddamn universe.
And then somebody would come to you and say, Vice Pence is incredibly connected with the board that provides you your continuing chairmanship of the fucking Mayo Clinic, right?
Then fucking fire me.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's what happened to you.
Yeah,
and then you'd be fired, and you'd
then
never work in your field again, and you'd be destitute and alone and a pariah in your field.
Because there's no powerful political enemies of Mike Pence that would give me fucking work.
Not
Pence,
right now.
And Pence was
right
the only participant not to wear a mask during a roundtable discussion on Mayo's coronavirus testing and research program. All the other participants did, including Food and Drug Administration Chief Stephen Hahn, top Mayo officials, Government Tim Waltz, and U.S. Rep. Jim Hagedorn. Mayo tweeted that it had informed the vice president of its mask policy prior to arrival. The tweet was later removed. Mayo did not directly respond to a request for comment on why it was removed or at whose request. Mayo shared the masking policy with the VP's office, the healthcare system said in its response. Pence explained his decision by stressing that he had been frequently tested for the virus. As Vice President of the United States, I'm tested for the coronavirus on a regular basis, and everyone who is around me is tested for the coronavirus, Pence said, adding he is following CDC guidelines, which indicates that the mask is good for preventing the spread of the virus by those who have it. And since I don't have the coronavirus, I thought it'd be a good opportunity for me to be here, to be able to speak to these researchers, these incredible healthcare personnel, and look at them in the eye and say thank you. Wow, yeah.
Okay. I mean, sure, maybe you don't have the coronavirus, but at the same time, that's the hospital's policy.
Not only that, like, don't you think that, like, as the vice president of the United States of America, you should, like, set a good example by following the fucking mask policy that is instituted by the fucking Mayo Clinic? You know?
Well, you know what they want? They want to be like, look, our brave leader, Donald Trump, ain't wearing a mask. Pence ain't wearing a mask. You don't need to wear a mask. See?
Don't nobody need to wear no mask.
Because, look, a bunch of people are going to see this, but they're not going to see his denial, or not his denial, but his explanation. Oh, well, I've been tested, and everyone around me has been tested. Oh, I know I'm not spreading it. Even if that's true, so fucking what? Not everyone's going to read that explanation. They're just going to see, look, if this is a big deal, why isn't the vice president wearing a mask?
I mean, is he tested every fucking second of every day? Like, you could have got it yesterday or something, right? I mean, there's no way for you to know, like, on a day-to-day basis, like, do I have the coronavirus? Like, if you were tested 3 days ago, you could have got it in those 3 fucking days. You don't know. You're the vice president. You're meeting and greeting with a lot of fucking people. So
I'm sure that's been really limited now.
Yeah, well, but this idea that, like, there's no way he could have got it in the intervening time, like,
sure.
this excuse is so fucking lame.
Like, if there was, like, a fucking fast-acting test that told you had COVID-19 in, like, 10 minutes or some shit, sure. But, I mean, there's not at this point, so.
Right. I mean, if we had that kind of test, like, we could reopen a lot of fucking quarters in society. But
yeah,
that test doesn't fucking exist yet, so until then, you take your fucking precautions.
Yeah, you wear the fucking mask.
Colorado man wins $1 million lottery jackpot twice on same day. With a little bit of luck and persistence, a Colorado man has hit the jackpot twice after playing the same numbers for 30 years. Colorado lottery officials identified Joe B. as the winner of 2 $1 million Powerball jackpots on May 25th. The winning tickets were sold on Lake Avenue in Pueblo at 2 different stores about a mile apart, officials said. Joe B. bought 1 ticket in the morning and the other in the evening, Communications Director Megan Doherty said. The Colorado Lottery received approval earlier this month to process winning tickets worth $10,000 or more at a touch-free drive-through claims office amid the coronavirus pandemic. Winners must make an appointment to claim their prize or do so through the mail. So I'm kind of confused. Did he play the same numbers at both locations and just win the same jackpot? At which case he doesn't. It's not like he gets 2 million. You don't get, like, multiples of the same, prize.
I don't think so, but
or did he somehow win, like, 2 separate $1 million fucking jackpots? Like,
well, you split it, right?
Right.
That's what I understand.
Yeah, I mean, if you win the same jackpot, if you and another person win the same jackpot, you split it. So if you and yourself win the same jackpot, you just get that jackpot because you're just,
Yeah.
But
I don't. Well, it depends on how the rules are written. It might be per ticket. It might be every ticket that it's a winner gets $1 million. I don't know.
I mean, I know how it works in California. I don't know anything about lotteries in other states, but in California, when there are multiple winners for the same jackpot, it's split evenly between those winners.
Right. So I don't know. I mean, I don't get.
And it happens often too.
If
It's actually way more common than people think it is. Now, one dude winning it twice in the same day, that's uncommon.
So like if he played this, I mean, if he played the same numbers in both places, I really don't understand why he did that. Like, I'm going to buy it here and then I'm going to buy it here with
He
the same
basically
numbers.
paid double what he needed to pay to win the same jackpot, from what I understand.
Which is why I suspect that that 1 million will not last long.
Yeah, this story should be stupid lottery winner double pays for $1 million jackpot. You know what I mean? Because he didn't need to.
Right.
No, he didn't.
Unless I'm not understanding what's happened here, but I mean,
unless he's just getting 1 million of a big giant pot or something. Maybe they do it different in Colorado.
Yeah, I have no idea what the specifics are. So
if he's getting 2 million, then good for him. If he's getting 1 million, he spent too much money. But I mean, hey, whatever. He won $1 million.
AMC Theaters says it will no longer play Universal Studios films. AMC Entertainment, the world's largest movie theater operator, said on Tuesday it would no longer play any Universal Studios films in any of its theaters globally. On Tuesday, the Wall Street Journal reported that the animated sequel to Trolls had been more profitable for Universal than the original because of its on-demand release. The Journal quoted NBC Universal Chief Executive Officer Jeff Shell as saying he expects to release movies simultaneously in theaters and direct-to-video home formats. Universal Studios is owned by NBC Universal, a subsidiary of Comcast. AMC has 1,000 theaters across the globe.
AMC's dumb.
AMC
fucking stupid.
AMC believes that with this proposed action to go to the home and theater simultaneously, Universal is breaking the business model and dealings between our two companies, AMC Chief Executive Officer Adam Aarons said in a letter addressed to the Universal Studios chairman Donna Langley. With movie theaters worldwide shuttered since mid-March due to the coronavirus pandemic, AMC said the action was effective from Tuesday and would apply as and when theaters reopen. Universal released the following statement to CNBC after AMC said it would not play the Universal Studios films in any of its theaters globally. Our goal in releasing Trolls World Tour on PVOD was to deliver entertainment to people who are sheltering at home while movie theaters and other forms of outside entertainment are unavailable. Based on the enthusiastic response to the film, we believe we made the right move. In fact, given the choice of not releasing Trolls World Tour, which would not only have prevented consumers from experiencing the movie but also negatively impacted our partners and employees, the decision was clear. Our desire has always been to efficiently deliver entertainment to as wide an audience as possible. We absolutely believe in the theatrical experience and have made no statements to the contrary. As we stated earlier, going forward, we expect to release future films directly to theaters as well as on PVOD when that distribution outlet makes sense.
Which it increasingly will, by the way.
Right.
What we're hearing is the death rattle of the old paradigm of theaters get exclusive access to movies for months and months and months, and then there's a year before they release it on fucking DVD. I mean, that's already died. You guys remember back in the day?
Right. I remember back when I was a kid, it used to be an eternity between theatrical and home video.
6 to 12 months, depending on the deal.
Right. It
used to release in theaters, and then 6 to 12 months later, for a big ass movie, it would show up, on tape or on DVD when that came out.
It'd show up at Blockbuster or whatever.
Well, that's already been eaten away. That was all part of theater exclusivity, by the way.
Right.
That was all part of funneling people to these theaters because, hey, you only got a couple of months to see this movie, and then it's out of the theaters, and then it's going to be a fucking year.
And then, when it became more of like a streaming thing, now it's been like, it's been like what 3 or 4 months maybe before a movie comes out on,
sometimes it's
services.
not even that. It really is a really short time sometimes between when a movie goes out of theaters and when it comes out in some kind of VOD.
Right, because people they want to capitalize on that demand and shit.
And I mean, there's a ton of movies that are available on VOD, by the way, under the in theaters tab.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like some of the movies do get like a pretty early release and stuff as well. But like now, Universal is, I guess, like starting to think like, man, we need to fucking just simultaneously put this out on both places. Which of course AMC's looking at that and being like, this is a threat to our business model. So we got to fucking try to stop this.
You know how much they made on Trolls 2 on VOD?
No.
I believe it. I believe it was a lot of money.
100 million.
Oh yeah.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. They don't need the movie theaters anymore. Ultimately that's what it's coming down to.
Right.
It's the movie theater's becoming more of like a luxury experience. And that's where the theater chains have gone. That's why it's like less people in the theater, bigger seats, more comfortable seats, food service on demand.
Yeah,
they're becoming an unnecessary middleman.
Right.
Yes.
Like theaters are like these movie companies are increasingly going to start looking at these theaters and going like we could cash out on this right now and just do a big wide VOD release.
Yeah.
Why are we worrying about how long AMC gets to show the movie for and how long it is before we, you know what I mean?
Right. I mean, I think theaters will stick around in some capacity, but I think this idea of the megaplex and shit is probably going to go away. I think it's going to become much more of like what Scotty was just talking about, more of a like smaller theater experience with like, nice comfortable reclining seats and like food service and like, that kind of stuff.
A luxury experience.
Right. It's going to be more of a like, let's go see a movie at the theater, but this idea that that's like the only big game in town and that's where you got to go, I think that's definitely going away. And I think a lot of these like AMC 14 giant megaplex kind of theaters are probably going to go the way of the fucking, the dinosaur or whatever the fuck.
And around here, we have Movie Tavern, and that's a chain. And like, Alamo Drafthouse is another rising chain. These luxury chains that really kind of understand the consumer shift, those ones will do well. Like the AMC stand, like the theaters that are really struggling are like the ones like this AMC 14. You buy a ticket, you go sit down, because you're paying fucking $20 for snacks. You're paying for all this shit. It's like, yeah, sure. So what if they charge you $25 to see Trolls 2? Because you know what, you're gonna spend way more if you went to see that in theaters.
Right.
That's a better value proposition for the consumer. The consumer's not going to shell out that money unless they have something they can't get at home. And at home, you're not going to get fucking food brought to you. You're not going to get all this other shit that you might enjoy.
And of course, I mean, like, you're never going to be able to compete with the size of a fucking theater screen or like the sound system of a movie theater. So, I mean, like, there's certain things that a movie theater can do that your fucking television at home just can't fucking do. So, like, that's going to stick around in that capacity for a while, but,
Well, another thing they had to think about too with COVID-19 is the spacing. So like that might be something that's built into theaters, like as they redesign them, like, hey, we want people to be like 10 feet apart. So it's almost like a private viewing experience. That's something that could probably get more people in the theaters. But yet again, that's more of a luxury thing, not a fucking mass, a crowd thing.
I think we're going to start seeing a major shift in the movie business in terms of how things are distributed for sure.
We've already seen it.
Signs from North Korea only raise more questions about absent Kim Jong-un. President Donald Trump has said he knows something of the North Korean leader's condition, but won't disclose it. North Korea this week provided halting signs that leader Kim Jong-un remains in power and control as sensational reports circulated unabated around the world that he is grievously ill or perhaps even dead. Though their significance is disputed, a series of dispatches were reportedly issued in Kim's name to Syria, Cuba, and South Africa, as well as a letter of praise for local workers. But as is historically the case when issues arise about its leader's fitness, signals from the Hermit Kingdom often raise more questions than they answer. Some analysts are confident Kim is currently ensconced in his summer retreat in Wonsan, about 130 miles east of the capital of Pyongyang. Satellite images posted online in recent days show his personal train at the compound, and more recent reports Tuesday indicate that yachts Kim has used have been in motion in the area, perhaps indicating his presence there, but his condition is unknown. Kim has not been seen for more than 2 weeks since publicly appearing at the Politburo on April 11th. His absence gained widespread attention when he missed celebrations on April 15th, marking the 108th anniversary of the birth of his grandfather and the country's founder, Kim Il-sung. It is not the first time he has gone missing. In 2014, Kim disappeared from public view for 3 weeks and was later revealed to be for medical procedures, likely to address symptoms of gout. Despite estimates that he's only about 36 years old, Kim has long wrestled with health problems related to obesity and complications from drinking and smoking habits. The difference this time around is, one, the circumstantial evidence that seems to suggest his health is in a worse situation, says Frank Aum, North Korea senior expert at the U.S. Institute of Peace, and 2, the lack of clarity about Kim Jong-un's successor. President Donald Trump, who last week said the emerging reports about Kim's failing health were incorrect, has thus far this week declined to offer any insight into what Kim's condition might be. I do have a very good idea, but I can't talk about it now, Trump said during a White House press briefing Monday. I hope he's fine. I do not know how he's doing, relatively speaking.
I do know how he's
doing.
I
do know how he's doing, relatively speaking. We will see. You'll probably be hearing in the not-too-distant future.
Let me tell you about my best friend.
He's dead, dude. He's for sure dead.
He's dead.
And Yong Sung-un, the spider, is now the leader.
The Black Widow is here.
Yes.
I mean, who knows? With these sort of things, you never know until, like, usually it has to kind of play out, because I mean, they're not going to reveal that if he's dead right away. They're going to obviously try to be making contingency plans. Trump's claims, I mean, just Trump probably know if he's dead or not, sure. But
I mean, yeah, I can almost guarantee the intelligence community knows. They got spies and shit in there.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, I mean, and
I would say that he's probably.
That, like,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, saying just
you go ahead.
Yachts and his. Okay, I will. His yachts and his trains are moving on. Like they can move those without him being on them. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
right.
And his family stays there too, so it could be other people using them.
Right, and
he could have died there.
I don't think he's dead. I think if he was dead, they would just put it out there.
He's dead.
They haven't really hidden, like, North Korea has not really hidden the mortality of their dictators in the past. Like, you know,
that's not true.
When Kim Jong-un died, they came out pretty quick. It's like, beloved leader is dead. Yeah, Kim Jong-il. Yeah,
Kim.
The previous
Kim Il-sung, when he died, they had a crazy sort of procession where, like, the people were like, we cannot believe the glorious leader is dead. But I mean, they have acknowledged it in the past. That is true.
So I mean, I don't know why they would necessarily cover it up if he was dead. I imagine he's probably just having, like, some really bad health issues, and they don't want to show him in a weakened state or whatever.
It's possible,
but he might die. So,
and then
the spider. Another transgender woman killed in Puerto Rico, the third in 8 days. The transgender and gender non-conforming community in Puerto Rico is mourning the death of another murder victim, the third in just over a week. According to the Human Rights Campaign, 31-year-old Penelope Diaz Ramirez was killed April 13th at the Bayamon Correctional Complex. Her death, which was reported Monday, took place just 8 days before 2 other women were found dead inside a charred Hyundai Elantra on April 21st in the city of Humacao. Probably saying that way wrong. Never in my career have I seen so many reports of deaths of our transgender and gender nonconforming community in such a short time in one location. Tori Cooper, HRC Director of Community Engagement for the Transgender Justice Initiative, said in a statement, 5 of the 9 U.S. murders of transgender and gender nonconforming people in 2020 have occurred in Puerto Rico, which to local LGBTQ activist Pedro Julio Serrano constitutes without a doubt an epidemic of anti-LGBTQ violence. The police have the obligation to disclose the status of the investigation of at least 8 murders, 1 death without a determined cause, and several attacks in which they keep adding letters, LGBTQ, blah, 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 blah. People have been injured since January 2019, added Serrano. A spokesman to the Coalition for the Search for Equity, CABE, an LGBTQ rights group on the island. So, rash of transgender murders in Puerto Rico going on.
I mean, I think we wish we could say this is surprising, but I mean, it's not.
Well,
it's not.
Here's the sad thing is, like, you know, trans people have lived under the threat and under the actual fucking commitment of this type of violence forever.
Yes.
And shit like this has happened all over the fucking planet constantly over the last, over the existence of our current fucking society. It's just, and it gets swept under the rug. You know what I mean? In one way or another. It's just like now people are starting to put together in some of these areas how many of these people like how few of them there really are in comparison to the rest of us, and yet how many of them seem to be the victims of this horrible shit
constantly.
Right. And I think a lot of, there's, I don't know exactly, I'm not an expert in what the culture is in Puerto Rico and shit, but, a lot of times there's this idea that kind of floats around of like, oh, these transgender women are just like trying to trick you. They're trying to like turn you gay with their transgender wiles or whatever. Like,
Yeah, that
like
does
they're trying to lure straight men into their web of, transgender evil or whatever.
The sad truth is that they're often the victims of the closeted nature of the people who end up killing them. So the people who a lot of these trans people are killed, as street workers and shit, as doing selling doing the world's oldest profession,
right?
And these closeted guys will get with trans people and then kill that trans person in a fit of mock rage to try and cover up the fact that that's really what they wanted, was some dick.
Right.
Yeah.
And that plays a role in this too.
Yeah, so but like a lot of weird sexual neuroses going on.
There's still a lot of just generalized anti-homosexual bigotry that oftentimes seems to hit trans people the hardest. It hits gay people too, of course, but
right.
Things have changed since I was a kid, but it's still pretty rampant.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And this, I think, is the end result of that. There's still just not this blanket acceptance of people despite their fucking sexual orientation.
Well, I mean, trans people make up such a small percentage of the population, and if you look at their murder rate per capita, it's astronomical. So, I mean, you have to at some point saying they're being targeted in some way. Yeah, I mean,
well, not only that, their suicide rate too. I mean, it's just
true,
insanely overrepresented in their community. So
it's dangerous out there. Oh, what's this? Are we ready for this?
What is this?
Are you ready?
Paul's gonna like this.
Are you ready?
Welcome back. And let's bring in Ben Shapiro, editor-in-chief of the Daily Wire and host.
Are you ready?
Ready, boy.
Oh my God! Look at his fucking smug little rat face.
Smug little shit, isn't he? He just want to smack him around.
Oh, don't be violent against Ben.
Benny. Come here, Benny. I kid Ben. I don't want to smack him around.
Poor Benny.
Podcast, which I listen to every day.
Really? You really listen to Ben Shapiro every day?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Whatever day.
Ben, I want to talk to you about this bill that the president signed today, but just before the show started, the Congressional Budget Office put out this number. They are estimating a 12% drop in GDP for this quarter, 40% annualized, and federal debt to exceed GDP by the end of the year. And I know these are things you think about a lot and maybe get your take on the president signing this bill, but what happens on the other end of it?
I mean, that is the big question, because the underlying market fundamentals have changed. I mean, the fact is that you can tell people that they ought to stop being in lockdown, and still their consumer behavior is going to change fairly radically. I think it's going to be a while before we have a therapeutic treatment that lowers the risk of this thing. If you're above the age of 60, if you have pre-existing conditions, and that describes a large percentage of the population, you're just not going to be eating in a restaurant right next to somebody for a long time. You're not going to be going to a sporting event for a long time. You're probably not going to be in a retail establishment that's highly crowded for a very long time. And that means that actually it's more important, not less important, to get people back to work so that we can see how the markets play all of this out, so we can see which areas of the economy are going to grow in sort of
so we can see how many people die.
We gotta just roll them dice,
how many of these people that we force out of their homes and to go back into the midst of a gigantic pandemic. We can see how many of them die. We got to put our finger up in the wind and see how many of these mules we can rely on to keep the grinding gears of capitalism going. I mean, we got to get these stupid humpbacked idiots out there. We got to get them busting their asses again and getting the COVID. Fuck you little shit.
Oh, it just gets worse, Paul. You got to keep hearing this, man.
Manned world, and people can move from jobs that no longer exist to jobs that will exist because the economy will move in a different direction. It's just this is a sudden shock. It's going to take a while for the economy to recover. It's not going to be a V-shaped recovery.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot of these stupid humps. It's going to take a lot of deaths. You know, a lot of these dumb motherfuckers that we force out of their homes and back into the pandemic-soaked fucking streets are going to have to croak. They're going to have to grind their bodies on the gears of capitalism before we start making money again. You know what I mean? It's just this is the way it's going to have to go.
Gotta make money, guys. Come on. Look, the economy, it's not going to be a V-shape. I like how this so far in the story, the only thing we've talked about is the economy, not the loss of human life, which is we're at now, what, like 58,000 or 52,000 deaths or something?
I could check.
Over 1 million cases. I know.
Yeah,
I know we just reached that milestone.
I know the deaths in the
between,
50,000 range.
The desire to reopen, and then on the other side of it, some people, including the media, looking out at them and saying it's too soon. Don't be foolish. And you're having this.
Yeah. So those other people include pretty much every fucking scientist that knows anything about this.
People with
every infectious disease specialist, everybody that works for the CDC and in any capacity to try and slow or halt fucking pandemics worldwide is pretty much amongst those quote unquote few people, including the media, who are saying it's too soon.
A few people, including the media, who we all, yeah.
Also including every fucking smart person on the planet who specifically studies this shit. But yeah, also the media.
Let's see. We have 1,028,217 cases going on right now.
Great. Wonderful.
I'm trying to figure out the deaths, but
last time I saw the deaths, it was in like the I think it was like 52,000. I want to say.
I think it's more than that now because that seemed like I saw that figure like a few days ago.
I mean, yeah, it's hard to keep up because, I mean, people are dying so rapidly. So, but you know, the economy, guys. Oh, man, that economy. How's it doing?
How's the
12%
economy
less.
going?
Keep going, T. This is just
cultural divide.
Well, I think that a large part of what's happening here is that Americans do understand that, or they should understand, that there is no situation in which everybody is absolutely safe, where the threat comes to an end, where people go back to work and now they can go without masks, without social distancing, and the risk level is what it was before any of this happened. And I think that needs to be constantly reinforced. I also think that it's important for politicians not to play the ridiculous game where they suggest that if only we save a single life, then any policy is justified. That's the last refuge of the political scoundrel.
Who the fuck is talking about shutting everything down to save a single life?
Yeah, no, we're talking about saving thousands of lives. Thousands of people that you want to order to their deaths.
Like tens of thousands. I mean, like, there's already been 50-something thousand deaths from this in the U.S. alone. Like, imagine if we didn't take any of the precautions we've taken. Imagine if we had just said, like, nope, no precautions, fuck that, this is America, we're just gonna, whatever it does, not shutting shit down, fuck social distancing, fuck all that. Like, imagine how many people will be dead if we'd taken that tact, early on.
The predictive models on that were around 2 million people.
Right. So it'd be like 2 million deaths we're looking at. Instead
it
of
still
like,
might be.
Yeah, I mean, like, it still could. Like, if people like Ben Shapiro gets his way, it probably will be, because there's nothing that's gonna stop it now. Like, nothing has changed between when this started and then. Like, we don't have better testing, we don't have a vaccine, we don't have any effective treatments. There's still the very real possibility of overwhelming the fucking healthcare system. The only thing that kind of has changed is that we know that a lot of people are, especially in like infected areas, are now carrying antibodies. So we know
about the rich owner class, though, TJ?
Right, of course. I forgot.
Money is not rolling in, TJ, like it used to.
We can't put lives above money, everybody. We can't fucking shut everything down and make the rich less rich just so we... Like, they're not even less rich is the fucking funny thing. Like, billionaires have seen their fortunes expand under this shit. I just read an article about this shit. Whatever.
I mean, I know some stocks and some portfolios have probably suffered pretty greatly from this.
Sure.
But yes, there's always
the
a
exploiters,
broad
of sure.
business community that capitalizes.
What they're really worried about. I was reading this saying, I think it was on Market Watch, and some of these billionaires were talking about this whole thing, and like they're scared shitless. And they're not scared shitless because of, the economy's down there. Look, they're rich. They're going to survive. It has nothing to do with that. It's that they're worried what is going to come from the political movement behind this. They're worried that, like, oh shit, they might have to expand the social safety net, period, because people are not going to be able to make it. And if people can't make it, they're going to have to. The government's going to have to act. If the government doesn't act, they'll be out on their asses. So they're worried. They're worried about that Great Depression thing. They're worried about like an FDR coming about and a bunch of New Deals and the Green New Deal and all these policies they really don't want.
Yeah, I mean, like, and look, I mean, I'm sure they're scared shitless when they see these things like these rent strikes and like this rash of labor strikes that have gone on. You know, it's not yet, you know, cohered into like one massive general strike or anything. And, you know, maybe it won't, you know, I don't know. But just like the business class seeing a fucking rash of strikes and, you know, widespread demand for, you know, government money to start flowing back to the fucking people. They're like, oh shit, that's a threat to the status quo. So
here's the problem. People can't pay their mortgages. People can't pay their rent. People can't buy food. People don't have health insurance. People don't have any of these things they need to survive. What is the logical conclusion of these things? You think people are just going to go, oh, well, you know, I'll just die? I mean, I guess people like Ben Shapiro believe ultimately that's what's going to happen. They'll just be dead. So who cares about them? Or they'll just, you know, pull themselves up by their non-existent bootstraps to a job that no longer exists because the pandemic destroyed it. I mean, I don't know what these people were fucking expecting is going to happen. And if we have these policies in place that have been espoused for years, that have been populist policies for years, like universal health care, it wouldn't be such a concern if we had fucking better protections for workers. If we had better fucking protections for people in general, but we don't. We lack them. We lack them in every fucking capacity. But so when people can't pay their rent, they can't eat, they can't have anything. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to riot.
I mean, I don't know. Call me, you know, take this with a grain of salt, but I'm pretty sure there's no way we go forward and things don't change after this. Like, I don't know exactly what that change is going to be. But Ben is part of this fantasy-filled, everything's going back to normal crowd that is quickly going to learn that that's just not the fucking case. I mean, even he was talking about it. So it's like they know it's there. He was talking about how, like, it's going to be a long time before people fucking go to a ball game, and a lot of those industries are going to be impacted.
Yeah, I mean, like polls have shown that even if the government does end social distancing, a lot of people plan to keep social distancing.
Well, that's a credit to the people. Then yeah, they're smarter than we give them credit.
They're smarter than their leadership, I guess. And
until
of course,
there's a vaccine or a way to effectively treat this, you'd be a fucking fool to go to a fucking football game. You can go to a football game. The government says it's fine. It's like, what? Are you retarded? You want to go to a football game where you can catch an infectious disease that you may be asymptomatic about, you know, oh, you have it, but then, you know, you go see your grandma. Hey, grandma.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll never believe what happened to grandma. She's in the hospital on a ventilator. She's going to die. Oh, what could I have done differently? You know, it's like no one wants to be that person. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's fucking Ben Shapiro. No one wants to fucking have the news that you killed somebody because you had to go fucking watch a basketball game or a football game or see a movie. It's not fucking worth someone's life.
It's about weighing competing values and weighing exactly the cost to not only human liberty, but to human prosperity, the number of lives ruined, not just the number of lives lost, what it looks like when you have 30 million people suddenly out of work. These are serious concerns, and only unserious people suggest that any policy that is going to be taken is not going to have costs and risks. Single factor analysis here is the enemy of good sense. And that's why Andrew Cuomo is going to end up opening up parts of New York, understanding that the risk still exists for a lot of people. I mean, that's just going to happen. The same thing will happen in Illinois. The same thing will happen in California. The question is how these governors assess that risk. And exactly
no one said risk-free. No one's ever said risk-free. Life is not risk-free. You know, that's a ridiculous standard. No one is fucking pushing for, like, it needs to be risk-free. They're saying there should be no cases for 14 days at least. There should be contact tracing. There should be adequate testing supply to know who has this disease. Those things are not in place. Those are the most rational steps possible that even the Trump administration says are necessary. So I don't know what this position is besides saying, look, I'm bought and paid for by billionaires, and this is what they want. I mean, look, if
well, that's his job. His job is to go out there and fucking, you know, put out their messaging. I mean,
to go put a fucking Koch brothers jacket on and go out there and have like big oil and shit all over him like he's a fucking NASCAR driver and say this is who I represent, then fine. But don't act like you're fucking arguing for common sense here. Like, this is common sense. There's no common sense about it. Common sense is contrary to what you're saying.
The current lockdown measures are designed to do. I think that very often the media do a poor job explaining when they said flatten the curve, that was designed to prevent the capacity of the healthcare system from being exceeded. It was not designed to prevent everybody from getting this in the first place.
I think that was pretty reasonably explained over and over again.
Yeah.
Idiot.
It was.
I think Ben Shapiro's like, a lot of people don't understand what flatten the curve means. It's like, yeah, they do. I mean, like, yeah, maybe not everybody. I mean, some people are just dumb shits and you can't explain shit to them. But I mean, like, most people I've talked to understand that the point of flattening the curve was not to overwhelm the fucking U.S. healthcare system. Because if you do that, you get way more deaths because you can't get proper treatment.
You get Italy.
That just is
you know what happened in Italy.
Happen. The testing regimens that people are talking about, those are designed to identify hotspots to prevent spikes that, again, prevent the healthcare system from being overwhelmed. They're not designed to prevent huge numbers of people from getting this over a long period of time. Understanding that allows people to be more sane in their risk assessment and to be more rational about what exactly society is going to look like coming out of this. Because I think a too rosy and optimistic picture of how safe we're going to be when this ends is a danger. And I think, similarly, a too pessimistic version of what this looks like is also going to be a danger.
Wow. So basically, my opinion is somewhere between the two people that actually have opinions about this. Fuck you.
Yeah, it's false dichotomy of like, look, you can either be an optimist that thinks nothing is wrong is going to happen, you know, like basically the blind idiot that this is not a problem, versus the guy that's like, if one person will die, close everything down forever. I mean, come on, those are two bullshit positions that no one really fucking, well, at least one side no one really espouses. The other side, I guess there's idiots that do espouse that. So I'll give you that, Ben Shapiro. There are idiots that don't think it's a problem at all. I guess Ben Shapiro thinks that's a little bit of a problem.
This problem of that if you reopen and people are expected to go back to work, but the child care centers and the schools are still closed, how are parents supposed to make those decisions? I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly right. And again, I think that in the end, we live in a republic. Individual citizens are going to have to make decisions that don't threaten other people, but that allow them to live their lives in a way.
Wow, non-response to the question. Good.
So individual citizens are just going to have to miracle some money into existence.
All right, well, you know, they're going to have to figure that out. Basically, they're just like, yeah, you're on your own on that one, you know?
Hey, guys.
Just a nothing answer.
Let's go to the money tree. Just pull some money off. We'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, individual citizens are going to have to decide how to get their children taken care of while they work 12 hours a day, you know, without any money.
Yeah. Pelosi floats guaranteed minimum income as part of coronavirus response. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi this week floated the possibility of a guaranteed minimum income as part of a potential Phase 4 response to the coronavirus crisis, an idea being pushed by left-wing members of the Democratic Party, such as Rep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Senator Bernie Sanders.
I'm sorry, did you say Miss Communist?
The commie. Let's see what works, what is operational, what needs other attention. Others have suggested a minimum income, a guaranteed income for people. Is that worthy of attention now? Perhaps so, she said on MS. That's a total non-committal bullshit answer from Nancy Pelosi. This is why I'm funding her fucking competitor for her Senate seat, or for some of her House seat.
She does need to go.
Sahid Buttar, by the way, way to the left of her. Describes himself as a democratic socialist. I don't know if he's actually a democratic socialist or if he's just a social democrat like Bernie Sanders.
Another geriatric, out of touch politician.
She's 80 years old. This idea, like this fucking headline and what she actually said could not be further apart. The headline is like, Pelosi floats guaranteed, like as if she's seriously considering it. And then the quote is just basically like a fuck off quote. Like, yeah, we know, maybe we could do that. I don't know. We could look into it maybe. Like
lip
basically
service.
The typical politician, like, we ain't doing that, but yeah, I'll pay lip service to it. I hate Pelosi so much. She's such a fucking cunt. She put out this video the other day where she's like, the Republicans are attacking me and they want me out, and that's why you got to give me $10. I'm like, you're not even running against a Republican. You're running against someone who's running to the left of you, you stupid cunt.
Yeah.
Anyway, a minimum guaranteed income, UBI, basically was popularized by former 2020 hopeful Andrew Yang. Calls for it have increased amid the economic downturn connected to the coronavirus pandemic, with left-wing lawmakers calling to make one-off stimulus payments bigger and a monthly feature. Ocasio-Cortez has called for $2,000 in monthly payments to all families, regardless of immigration status, and $1,000 per child. She was joined by progressive caucus leaders and fellow Democratic reps Pramila Jayapal, I'm sure I butchered that, I'm sorry, of Washington, Mark
Look, TJ.
Pocan of Wisconsin and squad members Rashida Tlaib, Ayanna Presley, Ilhan
TJ.
Omar, and so on and so. What's that, Scotty?
I don't mean to interrupt you, TJ, but them names, they sound like good American names to you.
No, they
I'm
don't.
wondering why. I'm wondering why reading a list of the senators that are behind all this shit is like reading through the menu at one of them taco places. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna have the Ocasio Cortez, and my wife's gonna have the Rashida Tlaib. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, that's like a bunch of damn foreign jibber jabber. You ask me. Real name is like John Smith Johnson. You know,
Frank Watson.
I asked Donald Trump what he think about that, and Donald Trump ain't. Look, you want money, you go work your money. You go work in that field. You do what you need to do. You make your money.
You do what you gotta do, man. You do what you gotta do. Damn it.
I don't go to government and give me.
I don't believe in no Alexander Occasional Cortex fucking Bernie Sanders bullshit. I ain't taking their damn communism in my country. You try to make me a commie, I'll fucking riddle you with bullets, bitch.
Yeah. Well, you preach it, TJ. No, I'm saying to you, look, even if I go to my hand to the government, if I do that, I paid into that shit. These foreign rabble, they didn't do nothing. They just came here and said, give me some.
I don't know about no damn foreigners.
I don't know.
Andrew Yang, man. Poor Andrew Yang. his idea of like, yeah, UBI. Take it like basically like, yeah, that's nice, Andrew. And now it's like a mainstream fucking talking point kind of idea.
Dude, Andrew Yang should shock the world and rejoin the presidential race right now.
Yeah, he should just be like, I'm back.
Just be like, I'd take backsies.
I'm unsuspending. I don't know. I think he actually there's a difference between suspending your campaign and withdrawing. And I think he actually withdrew it. I think it's too late for him to go back. But man, maybe he should have, man. Maybe he should have just stuck it out, man. Just been like, I'm just gonna fucking ride it to the end. Let's see what happens.
His funding was waning.
It was dried up, so yeah.
I mean, like, look, but you know what'll happen? Someone else will take his ideas from him.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, that's what's happening right here.
Yeah, I mean, it's already seems like it's happening.
Like the whole establishment snickered at it, and now big members of the establishment are looking at this and going, maybe, we ought to give people some money every month. You know what I mean? Just make sure.
What? I mean, think about it. If you actually pass a policy like that, you're gonna be one of the most popular politicians ever. You're giving people money. Of course we're gonna love
Disney World and Universal Orlando theme parks reopening roadmap includes 50% capacity in first phase.
Won't catch my ass there.
It's clear there will be major changes at Central Florida's major theme parks, including Disney World and Universal Orlando, when they begin to reopen as coronavirus restrictions ease. The Orange County... Yes.
Why are we even talking about this right now?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like, why would coronavirus restrictions be easing? The cases are accelerating. The deaths are accelerating.
Because people are just sick of it, Paul. They're just tired of it. Yeah, enough of this.
I mean, look, if you want to, like, it's my choice if I want to face dying or riding fucking Space Mountain. And I'm choosing Space Mountain. Look, man, it's fun being quarantine and everything, but is it as fun as riding Space Mountain? Come on, Paul, you know the answer.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
Among the initial recommendations, larger theme parks will operate at 50% capacity during the Phase 1 period. That could increase to 75% capacity in Phase 2. Additionally, all employees will be required to wear face masks. There will be touchless hand sanitizer at each ticketing entry and turnstile, and each ride/attraction entry and exit. There will be temperature checks for staff prior to their shifts, as well as regular wipe down of all railing and surfaces. Any staff member age 65 will be encouraged to stay home. Why are you just don't do this?
What about all the fucking people? Even if all their staff members, let's say there's a way to 100% make sure the staff members don't have coronavirus or aren't spreading coronavirus around. You're bringing in fucking tens of thousands of people every day for who knows where.
To help with social distancing, tape markings of 6 feet apart could be placed in the attraction and ride queues. During a subcommittee meeting, yeah, this is just dumb. Just don't do this.
Don't respect that. If you're trying to get into a fucking ride, we gotta stay 6 feet behind. Bullshit. People are gonna be pushing to the front of the line like I always do.
Just don't do it. This is not a good idea.
It's such a bad idea, dude. People get sick all the time at the best of times in Orlando. I mean, like, I got sick. I've got the fucking strep throat. I've got fucking like shit going. Just during regular times. During a pandemic, dude, fucking 80 million people a year visit Orlando. Let's even say, okay, it's not 80 million. It's just fucking 10 million. It's just Americans. That's still way too many fucking people from out of state.
Yeah, this is all the way bad as an idea.
Yeah. Maybe when we have like some actually like effective testing measures or something, you can consider this. I don't know.
Once we have herd immunity.
Yeah, now's not the time. I don't know. Does it say anywhere in this article like when they're considering doing this? The Orange County Economic Task Force issued some preliminary guidelines Tuesday as the state considers a phased approach to reopening the parks. I guess they're considering imminently doing this.
Next month, probably.
This is terrible. This is not a good idea. This is going to be really bad.
I mean, like, that's what I'm saying, man.
We're going to see.
That's why I told you.
America's going to get sick of being in quarantine, and a bunch of shit's going to reopen prematurely, and we're going to see a huge spike in fucking cases.
And then there's going to be a new call for a new quarantine.
Yes, and it's going to be it's just we're so dumb. It's like, okay, don't go outside. Okay, well, I'm gonna see what happens if I go outside. Oh my god, I'm sick. It's like, oh well, who could have fucking predicted that?
You know what? I can't stand it, TJ. I just can't stand it anymore. I need to go out. Ah!
Tupac Shakur filed for unemployment in Kentucky, and governor could hardly believe it. The governor thought it was a joke when a man named Tupac Shakur filed for unemployment, and the governor has since apologized. I want to see the governor apologize, dude.
Fabletics has everything you need for this
man,
fitness
one of
season.
these.
Our best-selling leggings and bras come in a variety
can't
of
even
styles,
mute it.
standout colors, and sizes up to
Of course you can't.
4X. We have something for every body.
Great.
Set your
No,
look apart
I
with
guess just
details that
enjoy a
flatter
bra
every
commercial.
curve and pockets that are convenient
Ooh,
and
pockets.
cute. With a wide range of features and fits, you can do anything.
Damn.
Do yoga, do the gym.
I'm fine with
do
this,
you
honestly.
in Fabletics.
Yeah, this is not so
Get
bad,
your first
really.
2 pairs of leggings for just $24 when you become a VIP member. Now available in-store or online at Fabletics.com.
Thanks, Fabletics.com.
Thank you. Finally.
Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear held a briefing on Monday in which he spoke about the work that the state's doing to quickly process unemployment claims. And he brought up one Kentuckian in particular. Here's what the governor said on Monday, and then his important follow-up the next day.
Get out of here, Joe Scarborough.
We had somebody apply for unemployment for Tupac Shakur here in Kentucky. And that person probably thought they were being funny. They probably did. Except for the fact that because of them, we've got to go through so many other claims that one person thinking that they were funny, using somebody else's identity, is going to make tens of thousands potentially of other people wait. Now, I owe somebody an apology tonight. Last night I spent a little bit of time talking about fraudulent claims holding us up, and mentioned an individual that had filed in the name of Tupac Shakur. I didn't know, and it's my fault, that we have a Kentuckian who goes by Malik, whose name is Tupac Shakur.
It's a real guy. I love it.
Wow.
Oh, that's so fucking beautiful.
Yeah, that is great.
Oh,
He goes with this bit. This fucking piece of shit, Tupac Shakur, done blah, 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 blah. This individual thinks he's being funny.
Sir, Tupac Shakur actually is a resident of Kentucky.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, dude, that's
I'm on
great.
the phone today. I apologize.
So,
I love it, dude. He gets a call from the guy. Sorry about fucking shit talking you, Tupac. I didn't
Damn.
know. I just couldn't know. It's a totally reasonable mistake to make, honestly. I mean, you know,
Yeah,
I would have
you're
thought it
kind
was. I would have thought it was bullshit if I'd seen it.
Oh, whatever, dude.
Anyway,
Tupac Shakur lives.
that's so fucking
shocking story here.
Unarmed
Have you ever
man
seen-
shot in back during confrontation with Chicago cops. Video.
Unarmed man shot in back by the cops.
Good luck.
Great.
You know how it
Danger.
goes.
Man, do I gotta fucking watch this shit?
You could
Gotta watch
close
a
your
dude get
eyes like you
killed?
always do.
I don't think he was killed.
Oh, okay. Let's
Well, they
see.
would have said killed. Come on, it's the news. They wouldn't have said just that.
So here's the cops here.
Yeah, some white gentleman. No, nothing to worry about.
So who's gonna get shot? This guy? Damn racist black cops. Okay.
What's the problem?
I don't know. So they take him off the train because I guess
they're searching him, or
they're like suspicious of what's in his bag or something. I guess.
Yeah, they were just bored and they wanted to fuck with somebody.
So then he's like, "Fuck you! I don't want to do this." Okay. They push him
He's
up
being
against a wall.
combative, but I guess he's resisting arrest. Is what's going on here.
Seems like he's just trying to like stop them from searching his bag, which
Well, at that point, they're probably telling him he's under arrest. You know, all that.
Seven 353.
The police code. The police means like there's like a fight with an officer or something. Or a backup call probably as well. That could be possible. Please don't put me.
Give me your hand. Stop trying to.
Get in your hand. Get it.
See what?
Well, they're trying to say like stop trying to. Like I guess this cop's saying he went for his gun or something. Oh shit.
Stop! Stop resisting! Stop resisting! Stop resisting! Stop resisting! Stop! Stop resisting! Stop resisting! Stop! Stop resisting! Stop! Stop resisting!
I love the music that's playing in the background while this is all going on.
No, it's like the.
Put your hands there! Put your give him your hand! Give him your hand! Give him
This is such a cluster. What the fuck?
What?
So he picked up his bag and shit.
Oh shit, dude. I don't know this guy. This guy is fucking nuts.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
It's just like this is a giant clusterfuck. Like,
but here's the thing: this is actually pretty common when cops gaffle people up for no reason. People go into like fight or flight or whatever the fuck.
yeah, I mean, you don't know what the hell's happening. It's
I
just
didn't
like
even
two
understand the circumstances of the gunshot here.
Okay, so if you look here, he's broken away from this cop's hold on him, and he's grabbed his bag.
That's before.
And she's telling him to put it down and put his hands up because, you know, I guess maybe she's thinking he's trying to get in the bag and get a gun out or some shit.
Right.
But he's got a face full of pepper spray.
Let's read the story here too, TJ, because this video actually did not. I didn't. I want my reaction to be genuine, but yeah, that was a very confusing video.
Officers have seen a top. Okay, so wait, let's see. Chicago police officer shot an armed man in the back during confrontation in the subway. Blah blah blah. The footage released Tuesday by the city civilian shows two Chicago cops struggling with a 33-year-old. God, there's only 33. God, he looks bad. Short order cook Ariel Roman on Red Line subway platform on February 28th. The officers are seen atop Roman as they try to subdue him while he pleads, "I didn't do nothing to you," video shows. Roman continues to ignore officers' commands to comply before one of the cops tells his female partner to shoot him. The new footage shows. "No, no, no," Roman replies. "Shoot him," the officer orders a second time. "Stop resisting. Give me your hands." Roman then gets to his feet as he is told repeatedly to stop resisting and appears to walk towards one of the officers as he is shot in the abdomen, video shows. A second shot is fired as Roman dashes up the escalator, striking him in the buttocks. He collapses as the officers take him into custody, video shows. So he's shot twice.
In the ass and in the stomach.
Mayor Lori Lightfoot characterized cell phone footage of the confrontation captured by a subway rider as extremely disturbing, the Chicago Tribune reports. The officer involved shooting remains under investigation by the Cook County State's Attorney's Office with help from the FBI, the newspaper reports.
Don't worry, the good old boys club will get to the bottom of this one.
Not really. It's really kind of unclear exactly what was going on in this video. I don't know.
He was causing such a problem that this level of force was the warranted level of force.
It didn't really seem like he. I mean, like I'm really unclear as to why they were why they were harassing this guy in the first place.
They see him on the train, and you can see they have like a quick little conversation.
Yeah, and then he kind of
on the train,
leaves.
and then they go after him, and they take him off the train, and he pretty much complies with them, and then they tackle him, and at one point squirt him with pepper spray, and then, the rundown that it had in the article actually was pretty. That's what I remember.
Right.
Like, he breaks away for a second, he stands up, he grabs his bag or his coat or something off the ground.
Yeah.
And starts to move towards one of the cops, and she shoots him.
Right.
And then she fires at him as he runs away.
Right. Very
so,
strange.
was there a gun necessary in this? No.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it definitely escalated very strange. I mean, it's a really weird video. I mean, it's like just such a total clusterfuck. It's hard to even really decipher what the hell went on.
Much like life itself. So
yeah, I guess so. Anyway, so this is gonna be the last story for our plebs, but we'll give you this one. Sale of defective parrot leads to BC lawsuit. There's a legal precedent, and then there's there's legal precedent, and then there's Monty Python. The two overlap this week when a BC small claims court sided with a Salt Springs Island resident who sued another man for allegedly selling him a defective parrot. According to the Civil Resolution Tribunal decision, Michael Davies said he noticed the parrot Tiberius was missing a few tail feathers when he bought it, but was told the bird was only molting and had clipped wings, but was otherwise healthy. But to paraphrase one of the British comedy troupe's most beloved sketches, in which an irate customer confronts a shopkeeper who sold him a dead parrot, the plumage didn't enter into it. Tiberius should have had a life expectancy of up to 40 years. Davies soon learned he had a fatal disease. In fact, faced the prospect of becoming an ex-parrot in just a fraction of that time. I find that there was an implied warranty in the parties' contract that Tiberius would be healthy for at least 6 months, wrote tribunal member Julie Gibson. Instead, Tiberius became very ill within weeks of the applicant's purchase. So basically, this dude found out his parrot was dying and decided to unload it on someone else.
Damn, that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Man, fuck this dude. That's like, dude, I'll tell you what. I've heard some fucked up shady shit in the world, but like, man, selling an animal to somebody else, like, this could be potentially a lifelong companion to you. Oh, by the way, he's actually gonna die soon. I mean, there's no way the guy disclosed that.
He's got parrot cancer. All right, plebs, the show goes on, but without you. You can see the rest of it by becoming a patron. You can also see the latter half of tons of other episodes of Flash Fried, as well as the Friday episodes of Deep Fat Fried, as well as a bunch of other stuff like movie commentaries. I just did a fucking 4+ hour Abandoned Hope last night. That's available. Do one of those every month. I also stream pretty constantly over there. Just like, little chill streams and stuff. So, I mean, like, yeah, there's a lot of shit over on Patreon. So become members of Patreon, you stupid fucking plebs. All right. Now here's a trailer for a movie called Homecoming 2. I don't know what Homecoming is.
Is this Spider-Man?
No.
No.
Have you guys ever heard of the movie Homecoming? Because I've never heard of it.
It sounds vaguely familiar, but no, not really.
Amazon Original. Dum. Dum, dum,
Everything
dum,
all right, miss?
dum, dum, dum,
What's
dum.
your name?
Dum, dum.
I don't know.
What is your address?
I don't know.
How about your birthday?
I don't know.
No.
We're trying to understand what happened to you.
I knew something was wrong with me, but I couldn't explain it to anyone. It was like the people around me were keeping a secret.
Oh, I have seen this movie.
Okay.
Okay, so wait, no, never mind. I haven't.
God damn it.
Damn you, Paul.
Fucking Paul. Oh, no, never mind.
We were in a movie, and everyone knew
She's
we
a
were in
winker.
movie except for me. If I did something wrong, I have no idea what it is.
The complaint's been elevated. There's going to be an investigation.
Some laboratory shit going on, I guess.
There's no one I can... It's hard for me to talk about this. I'm sorry. Jesus. What are you into here?
I don't know.
You better think.
Trying to think.
This is all critical military technology.
They're in charge here, whether we like it or not.
And you like it.
What was I doing? Why was I there?
It's complicated.
How did we get here? What we did.
More like, where the fuck are we? I don't know what's going on.
What if we let the crazy world?
Maybe if I'd seen Homecoming, I would
Yeah,
know what
you'd
the
probably,
fuck is
you'd
going
probably
on.
be in on the meme if you saw
I'd be like,
Homecoming.
oh, wow, these events are moving along in a nice trajectory now. But I don't know what the fuck is going on, so.
If you keep picking at this, it's gonna start bleeding.
Government. New mystery. Woo!
Dude, I watched an Amazon original last night that was just poopy doopy.
What was it?
It was it's called Lizzie.
Lizzie.
It's about Lizzie Borden. It's like a Shudder movie.
Oh, okay.
A Shudder original.
Oh, okay.
And it was poopy.
Poopy.
It was real bad. It's got Chloe Savini and Kristen Stewart, I think her name is, in it. And the trailer looked pretty good. But the movie was poopy.
The movie, it was poopy.
At this point, I'm willing to trust fucking a Netflix movie. Maybe if Disney Plus, maybe they can convince me. But Amazon so far has not convinced me of themselves as financing or producing any films thus far.
French researcher suggests nicotine could protect against coronavirus.
Ha!
I believe it.
You guys should be fucking immune then, huh?
Researchers studying COVID-19 patients in the Paris Public Hospital Network have found evidence that smokers could be better protected from the virus than others, though they warn that smoking can aggravate symptoms for those who do contract the illness. Researchers from several institutions saw that of 11,000 or so patients hospitalized in Paris public hospitals for COVID-19 at the start of April, only 8.5% were smokers compared to 25.4% of the general public. Yeah, that's true. The French love to smoke, man.
Yeah.
They then looked more closely at the 482 patients at the I'm not even trying. The hospital in Paris who tested positive for COVID-19 and found a similar phenomenon. The 343 hospitalized for serious complications had a smoking rate of 4.4% and 5.3%. Of the 139 who were sent home with less serious symptoms smoked. Upon further investigation, accounting for age and sex, the researchers found that the small number of smokers appeared to have some kind of protection against the virus. The findings were in line with a study of COVID-19 in China published at the end of March in the New England Journal of Medicine that found 12.6% of the 1,099 people studied who tested positive for COVID-19 were smokers, while the smoking rate in China is around 28%.
Damn.
Wow.
I found it hard to pay attention to that article, but I think I got the gist. I was distracted by the big fat pair of titties that kept cycling by in that ad.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, right there.
Yeah,
Look
you're
at it.
right.
It's not even that
Spicy
pair.
lingerie.
There's an even
Oh,
fatter
damn.
pair. Yeah. I was like, I'm sitting here listening to you read that, and that just keeps flashing by.
Paul's like,
basically,
God
hold on, let
damn.
me recap the story.
Yeah.
The big fat titties destroyed Tokyo.
Yeah, you got it, Paul.
That's what happened.
The only thing,
Okay,
so the only takeaway you need from this story is that smoking's good for you, right?
Well, hallelujah. Finally, I've been waiting to hear
So
what I
next
wanted to hear
time,
my whole life.
next time you're smoking and someone's like, "Hey, what are you doing there? You know, it's bad for your health." It's like this protects me from COVID.
This is actually one of the only few proven
Finally, some
COVID-19.
fucking good news for fucking smokers, man.
Yeah.
We are immune to COVID.
Oh, it does say if you do contract it, it is much worse for you.
Well, yeah, you know.
Well, then you quit though.
Yeah, that's when you
then
quit right then.
Oh yeah, that's
You
how
got
it works,
COVID-19.
right?
Yeah, once you get the cove, then you quit.
But you're not going to get it because you're a smoker. You're fucking,
Right.
you're basically inoculated. A pack a day is the COVID-19 vaccine. I think we can reopen shit now. We just got to fucking distribute cigarettes to the people. Everybody start smoking. Nigerian
that's
woman.
good.
What's that, Scotty? You trying
Good
to
luck.
trying to besmirch the fine tobacco
Good
industry?
luck with that, TJ.
Nigerian woman, 68, gives birth to twins. That's not a great idea. A Nigerian woman has given birth to twins, a boy and a girl, at the age of 68. Margaret Adenuga. Margaret Adenuga went through 3 previous IVF procedures before finally having twins. That's in vitro fertilization, right? Her husband, Noah Adenuga, 77, told CNN that the couple, who married in 1974, had long desired to have children of their own. Adenuga said they never gave up even after the failed attempts. The retired stock auditor told CNN, "I am a dreamer, and I was convinced this particular dream of ours will come to pass." The babies were delivered via cesarean section at 37 weeks last Tuesday at Lagos University Teaching Hospital, but the hospital only recently made the news public to give the first-time mother time to recuperate, it said. At 68, you should be a fucking, I guess, don't give, I mean, like, how are you possibly, like, by the time those kids are, like, 18 or whatever, you'll be, like, either decrepitly old or just dead. So it's kind of a weird fucking idea.
I mean, like, in a lot of countries, you know, you're pushing maybe for a woman, maybe 75, so she can reasonably expect, if she's an average live person,
to live like
maybe
12 more years.
Maybe 7 to 10 more years with her kids, and then they're just gonna be like, "Well, your parents were elderly and they're dead." I mean, maybe they have a huge extended family that's gonna take that on. I don't know, but it still seems kind of like a fucked up thing to do. To just leave someone you're, you know, like, all right, now you gotta take care of my kids because I'm too old and I had kids at 68.
It's a selfish thing to do for sure, because you're not thinking about the future of those kids when you're fucking pushing 80 and having them. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. Some decisions, man.
See, this should never have been allowed to happen. See, nature has a way of stopping this. You know, menopause and shit and erectile dysfunction and all that. It's supposed to, it's like, okay, now at this point, you're way too old to take care of a baby, so you just can't have them anymore. And we got these stupid ass fucking doctors that come around and we go, yes, yeah, we can give you twins, 80-year-old grandma. Sure, why not?
Pop them out.
Look at the fucking sprightly couple here.
Oh, yeah, they're definitely going to be kicking around when these kids, you know, really need them to start guiding them when they're 10, 15, you know. I guarantee you they're going to have both their parents just as spry as the day where they were born, which is not very spry at all.
Oh, man.
Hello and welcome. Let's see. Oh, you want to use, yeah, okay. Real life
cookies on you.
I'm fighting off coronavirus with sperm smoothies. Tracy Kiss says she's not worried about COVID-19 as she thinks her unique way of keeping healthy will ward it off, though some may find her controversial methods hard to swallow.
Oh, what a zinger.
Gathering together spinach, broccoli, and some peppers to blend into a smoothie, Tracy Kiss then reaches into her fridge for a special ingredient, her boyfriend's sperm, which she keeps in a Tupperware box. The mom of 2, who is a personal trainer and social media influencer, makes sure she ingests his sperm at least 4 times a week, but usually on a daily basis. She also uses it as a facial at least once a month, and she reckons it keeps her skin looking young.
Man, where do I...
I know, right?
Where do I get a girlfriend like this that just wants to farm you for sperm?
And although it might make some people gag, Tracy, 32, who lives in Aylesbury, Bucks, insists that far from being an odd thing to do, it's healthy, free, and contains vitamins and minerals. Yeah, that's not why you're doing it. Look,
come on, yeah.
Look,
really.
You know, there's plenty of other sources for those vitamins and minerals and proteins and shit. This is a matter of you being a cum hungry fucking I won't say whore, but you know, you like the jizz. Just admit it. Just admit it.
Boyfriend, that fucking boyfriend should be like, look, ain't no more fucking freezer fucking sperm. You only get this on demand.
Yeah, you get this fresh from the tap, bitch.
You get nothing at all.
She said, I've been doing this for 4 years now and I've never felt better. I'm never ill either. In this pandemic, I'm not really concerned about getting the illness. My immune system is so strong.
I think this might be...
This woman is the preeminent greatest scientist of all time.
There might be like a burgeoning, you know, like fucking health job market for guys like us. You know what I mean? Jizz, we could sell it.
Selling my jizz. Selling my jizz. What is this?
Every dude's jizz is different. You
Look
know
at this
what I mean?
fucking ad. What kind of fingers do you have?
What?
Man, people are getting real bored.
What kind of fingers do you have?
There she is. She is using it as a facial cream. Can we even fucking show this?
Oh, she's got a nice glaze about her.
Yeah, she's glazed. Ah, I feel so good.
Oh man, dude.
She's got a healthy looking glaze.
Yeah, you know. All right. Enough of this.
What do you mean, all right?
No.
The rest of the show is about this.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Brain implant and signal decoder have done the impossible and reverse paralysis. Okay.
Thank God.
Paralysis used to mean a life sentence of immobility with no way out. Until now. Back in 2010, Ian Burkhart suffered a devastating injury that would leave him mostly paralyzed. Even though he was still able to move his shoulders and elbows, he had lost sensation in his hands. That was until Patrick Ganser at Battelle Memorial Institute fast-forwarded biotech in the future by developing a brain implant that would turn Burkhart's life around. When the implant connects to a specialized brain-computer interface, it does something that has never been done before and has restored both movement and touch in his right hand. Paralyzed muscles can be reanimated following spinal cord injuries using a brain-computer interface to enhance motor function alone. Ganser and his research team said in a study published in Cell. Importantly, the sense of touch is a key component of motor function. Not only did the implant and BCI give Burkhart his sense of touch back, but they've also allowed him to do things like swipe a credit card and play Guitar Hero again. Ganser was able to do this by tapping into the potential of residual touch signaling in Burkhart's hand. These were brain signals for touch that were so faint that Burkhart was unable to perceive them otherwise. It used to be assumed that severe spinal cord injuries eliminated all transmissions of sensory information to the skin, but when a patient touches, they cannot feel. Stimuli actually provoke changes in brain activity. It is now thought that some somatosensory nerve fibers, which send the brain information about objects in our environment through touch, survive even what is considered to be a clinically complete spinal cord injury. Reviving sensation in the hand is particularly difficult, blah, 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 blah. It goes on and on. This is pretty cool technology, though.
Yeah, that's neat.
I wonder how, every time I see something like this being used to treat some sort of disability, though, I always start to wonder, like, how long is it before this technology is just turned on to, like, enhancement, you know?
I mean, not long. I mean, this is the, you know, where it starts. It starts with trying to restore functionality to people who have been crippled or mangled or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, but when does it, I just wonder when it becomes like, let's enhance, you know, reflexes.
Well, eventually it's going to get there. Eventually they're going to, you know, they're going to push this type of shit far enough and they're going to go like, whoa, you know, this guy's actually got better motor function.
Yeah, then it's kind of like maybe everyone should do this. Maybe this should just become standard, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely, from a transhumanist perspective, pretty exciting stuff to see happen.
And, you know, I know, look, I mean, I know that there's a lot of people out there that are just, like, terrified of this, too. Like, you know, I was watching Rick Wiles the other day on, or just last night, actually, on Ban and Hope, and he was talking about, like, Bill Gates is trying to microchip us. Bill Gates is trying to microchip us. So those people are going to be so freaked out when this stuff starts to become commonplace, like, yeah, you get this, brain interface chip, and then, you know, it enhances all your motor functions. They'd be like, oh, my God, it's the devil. It's the devil.
Well, there'll definitely be resistance for sure.
So it's going to be pretty interesting to see what happens there.
I think if this guy could snap his fingers and make a deal with the devil that reverses paralysis, he'd probably do it.
I think he done it. He already done it. He made a deal with the devil. Went against nature.
We're talking about complete reversal of paralysis. I mean, something like that would be insane. So, I mean, so far we haven't really been able to achieve that, but this is a huge step to make this guy be able to actually have this function again. That's astonishing.
Cool beans. Turkey issues order to feed stray animals so they don't starve in pandemic. Turkey's Interior Ministry recently issued a letter urging local administrations to protect and feed the country's hundreds and thousands of stray dogs and cats as residents stay at home to contain the spread of the coronavirus. Food and water will be left at the living environments of street animals such as parks and gardens, in particular animal shelters, the ministry wrote in a notice. All necessary measures will be taken to ensure stray animals don't go hungry. Wow.
Damn.
That's pretty awesome, dude.
Turkish society has a strong cultural emphasis on caring for animals in need. Municipal veterinarians vaccinate strays, and citizens help. Why is God damn it, Turkey? You're better than us in this. What?
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Fuck, man.
I'll give it to them. If they're better than us, they're better than us when it comes to that.
New stay-at-home orders and social distancing policies are heavily impacting these animals who normally rely on the general public for nourishment, especially. And it's just like there's just basically they treat strays as if they're just like communal pets.
Right.
That's pretty cool. Now maybe there's probably aspects of that are not so cool, but overall I like that approach better than like get away from me, you damn piece of shit animal.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude, when I was growing up, like I remember, I used to walk to school, and like there were these stray dogs. No, and it was like the difference was like all the kids would like the dogs, and the teachers be like, "That dog need to go, get away! These dogs are bad. They're strays. Like, what'll happen to them? Who cares?" And I was all kind of like, "That's kind of fucked up." Like, they're just trying to live. It's not like they're doing anything wrong.
It's all too common too. Unfortunately, people just kind of ignore the plight of these animals that don't have a place to be. So
yeah, people. I mean, they treat people the same fucking way. So what animals be much different?
Yeah, exactly. Saudi Arabia ends death penalty for crimes committed by minors. Wow, welcome to the 19th century. I don't know.
Welcome to
it's now officially 1892
in Saudi Arabia. Kingdom has one of the highest rates of execution, and rights groups have repeatedly raised concerns about fairness of trials. Well,
oh, what?
There are none. So yeah.
I mean, there are trials. No, there are trials, TJ, but they're kangaroo courts.
No, I mean, I'm saying they're saying that there's no fair trials in Saudi Arabia.
Oh yeah, yes, of course.
There's barely any here, by the way. Saudi Arabia has ended the death penalty for crimes committed by minors after effectively abolishing floggings.
Wow! Good job.
Yay! Good job, Saudi Arabia. As the kingdom seems to blunt criticisms over its human rights record.
Guys, give me a second. Some fucking cut my foot.
Oh damn, dude!
My foot is bleeding.
What?
I don't know, dude.
What did you do?
Here, cut my fucking foot.
All right, go ahead.
That's weird.
Back in a second.
What the fuck, dude? This is such a random thing. Dude, my fucking foot's bleeding. Like, TJ, me, you don't have to worry about that because we're average shoe wearers. Like, we're always wearing shoes.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's why I do it. Because you just never know when some sharp shit's going to cut your foot. That's why you wear shoes indoors and out.
Paul probably fucking made a hot pocket or something, dropped the plate, plate broke.
Smash the plate, too lazy to pick it back up. He's like, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. Then he fucking walks right on the plate. Oh, no, I cut my foot. Probably some coronavirus on the plate. Paul fucking dies of coronavirus. Anyway, the death penalty was eliminated for those convicted of crimes when they're minors. Human Rights Commission President Awad Alawad said in a statement citing a royal decree. Instead, the individual will receive a prison sentence of no longer than 10 years in a juvenile detention facility. The decree is expected to spare the lives of at least 6 men from the minority Shia community who are on death row. They were accused of taking part in anti-government protests during the Arab Spring uprising while they were under the age of 18. United Nations human rights experts made an urgent appeal to Saudi Arabia last year to halt its plans to execute them. This is an important day for Saudi Arabia, said Awad Alawad. This decree helps us in establishing a more modern penal code. Yeah, okay. Well, good for you, Saudi Arabia. I mean, I'm glad you fucking softened a little bit on this shit. I still think you're a backwards, horrible country.
We will no longer execute minors. Instead, we will imprison them for 10 years.
Saudi Arabia will no longer flagellate people to death. From now on, they will just be beaten with bricks. Much quicker.
Jesus. You
got your foot remedied there, Paul?
Yeah.
Paul, how did you cut yourself, dude? We're curious.
So I looked around and there was this little chunk of like plastic on the ground underneath my desk that was sharp, and I just rubbed my foot across it the wrong way, and it
Brutal.
I was like, ooh, shiny. Ah!
I didn't even see it. I just like moved my foot under my desk, and all of a sudden I was like, "Oh shit! I better check and see if that's bleeding." And sure enough,
You gotta wear your shoes, man.
I guess so.
That's why you got to wear shoes, Paul. That's why me and
so.
Scotty wear shoes. German doctors protest lack of protective equipment by posing naked. In one of the photos, a doctor holds up a sign which reads in German, "I learned to sew wounds. Why do I now need to know how to sew masks?"
That's a good question.
The German doctors.
What? Wait a minute. Why is there?
I love Germany, dude.
What are they doing?
Chauncey's there.
It's Germany,
throwing
Paul.
his
Come on,
support.
you're all fucking kinky as shit. It's like
We are German.
You want to do a photo shoot naked about how we have no PPE? Oh, you said PP. You know, it's like this
A
is their
group
German
of German
style.
doctors has stripped naked in a series of photos to show how vulnerable they feel without adequate protective equipment on the front lines of the coronavirus pandemic. The group calls its protest Blanke Bedenken, which translates as naked concerns, saying shortages of protective clothing and equipment are putting lives at risk. We are your general practitioners. To treat you safely, we need protective equipment. If we run out of what little we have, we look like this, one of the group's tweets said next to a naked photo of a male physician. On its site, the group, which was launched on Thursday, has since garnered growing attention online, has featured more photos of doctors posing in their medical practices, wearing nothing but a stethoscope, hiding their private parts behind medical equipment, paperwork, and toilet rolls. In one of the photos, a doctor holds up a sign that reads in German. I already read that. Like in many other countries around the continent, German health workers have appealed for more personal protective equipment, or PPE, since the beginning of the crisis that has so far claimed the lives of 5,750 people in the country.
Man, Germany is a fucking weird place.
Welcome to Germany, Paul Zico.
I know how we shall solve this crisis. We will get naked and put in. You will wear your stethoscope like a dog collar, and you will be naked.
Yeah, they're all wearing,
yeah.
like, most of these people are wearing stethoscopes. That's like, I guess that's to let you know, like, we are doctors.
We are your little bondage slaves. We've been so very bad. Lead us around by the stethoscope.
Damn.
Well, I think Paul's pretty into this.
Oh, totally, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I thought to go to the doctor. I've been a very bad boy.
The camp is in. Wait until you see my bedside manner.
Alaska School Board removes The Great Gatsby, other famous books from curriculum for controversial content.
Who did?
An Alaska School Board removes 5 famous but allegedly controversial books from its district classrooms, inadvertently renewing local interest in the excluded works. I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou, Catch-22 by Joseph Heller, The Things They Carried by Tim O'Brien, The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, and Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison were all taken off an approved list of works that teachers in the Matsuboro school district may use for instruction. The school board voted 5-2 on Wednesday to yank the works out of the teachers' hands starting this fall. They removed books contain content that could potentially harm students. School board vice president Jim Hart told NBC News on Tuesday. If I were to read these in a corporate environment, in an office environment, I would be dragged into EO, an equal opportunity complaint proceeding, Hart said. The question is why this is acceptable in one environment and not another. No, I'm pretty sure that you would not be dragged into anything if, like, your coworkers, like, saw a copy of fucking Catch-22 on your desk or some shit. Maybe it would. I don't know.
I'm reading The Great Gatsby.
Caged Bird was derided for anti-white messaging. All right. Gatsby and Things are loaded with sexual references. Invisible Man has bad language, and Catch-22 includes violence, according to the school district. Diane K. Scheib, President of the Matsu Education Association Teachers Union said parents and her members were stunned by the board actions. Even though the school board had listed an agenda item to discuss controversial book descriptions, Scheib said, no one believed those works were under serious threat. Well, you know, art is never safe from busybodies. You should know that by now. There's always going to be these fucking moral busybodies who are like, oh shit, you know, like if I was a kid in these Alaska schools and these books were suddenly verboten, that would make me super interested in reading them. I don't know. That's where I'd be as a student. I don't know how many people, I don't know how many kids that go to these schools would have that reaction, but I know that's where I'd be. I'd be like, I want to see what the fuck they're trying to keep from me with this, you know?
Well, the reason provided was like, if you did this in a corporate environment, people would get offended and you would get fired. It's like, what? This is still censorship. This is still goes against what people believe to be.
Jonathan, we caught you reading The Great Gatsby. Clear out your fucking desk.
Read what you want. These students should be able to read whatever the fuck they want. The teachers should be able to teach whatever the fuck they want.
I mean, within fucking reason. But yeah, I mean, like, you know, novels and shit. This just goes to show you that, like, it doesn't stop. Like, it doesn't stop at just keeping pornography out of the school or whatever the fuck. It's like The Great Gatsby now can't be read in high school. It's like, what the fuck?
Hey, do they want to remove a book with, let's see, homophobia, genocide, violence, all those bad things? They remove every biblical studies course, and every course about religion should be removed from every fucking high school because the Bible contains all of that and worse, and slavery. So guess what? Do away with that book too while you're at it. You object to a book with those problems? Then why don't you look at the fucking Bible and get rid of that shit while you're at it? But no, that's okay. They're never going to ban that from schools. Don't worry.
They already have, Scotty.
Oh, yeah. Give me a fucking break, dude.
Pentagon releases UFO videos for the record. Now, these videos are old as shit. These are not new videos. We've looked at them here on this show before, but we can look at them. Are we going to get an ad, or is there going to be a video?
I don't know.
The videos have. Oh yeah, we're definitely getting an ad.
At least this one will let me mute it.
Hey, that's nice. I still hate having to look at these fucking doofuses, though.
Yeah.
You need NyQuil. Oh no, you need expenses. What?
There's a whole fleet of them.
Oh God.
My gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude.
Turns out it was a smudge on the camera.
Roger.
I don't see shit. I don't know what I'm looking at. You know what I mean?
It's a tiny little thing down, like in the middle of the screen. It looks like.
Yeah, I mean, this might be exciting to like a military person, but to me, it just looks like a lump of shit on a gray background.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's crazy that it was able to do this and fly and operate the way it did, but
it's rotating.
I think it's just it's beyond any technology we have to do this. Well, as far as people that they know about, I mean, and these are like pilots and jets who are flying, you know, at a fucking. I mean, I don't know how fast they fly, but like obviously they're going pretty fast, and the maneuverability of these UFOs is just insane.
Do they need to open fire on one of these fucking things the next time they see it?
Paul, that's how you get Independence Day, dude. That's how you get the fucking White House game.
Exactly.
Oh,
exactly my point.
That's your plan, then. You know what? Fair enough.
Video shows California cop pinning and punching a 14-year-old.
Probably fucking deserved it, little punk.
Oh,
this
man.
Fucking ad wraps up.
Everything's a fucking ad now, dude. Except on our show. They won't give us ads. They're too smart.
An Occupy demonstration organized by Black Lives Matter. They say that essentially they're going to be out here in front of the police office headquarters indefinitely, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays until their demands are met. Basically split off.
This is actually nothing to do with the fucking incident. So, all right, here's the actual video we want to watch. Here we go.
Just refresh it. This happens all the time. Just refresh the page.
Oh, there it is.
Stop, bro. What's your password?
What's your... Stop, Josh, stop. Stop, bro. Stop, Josh, stop. Stop hitting him, bro. Just stop.
I saw a longer one than this.
You know what, dude? I, for one, am glad that there's just a big, sweaty, stinky fucking cop out there making sure no 14-year-olds have swishers. Because that's what this was over.
You got to stop that.
He had a swisher. Stop. You know what I mean? Does that change your perspective on this, TJ?
It does.
I mean, it's one thing if this happened for no reason, but the kid had a swisher, TJ.
Yeah, man, that's fucking wrong. I mean,
there definitely needs to be a government thug that steps in and beats the shit out of anybody that has a swisher.
I mean, anyone under the fucking legal age to buy a swisher, you know?
Yeah, they should never have a swisher.
They should just get their ass beat.
We almost know for a fact what happened. It was probably this kid was smoking. The cop is bored, has nothing to do, stops him. You know, how old are you? And then, of course, if you give any disrespect to the police at that point, it's just going to be like, oh, no, you got to do what I say. You got to do what I say.
It's pretty crazy how ineffectual this cop is at even just like detaining this 14-year-old too.
He has a serious heart condition.
What?
I thought in the article that this kid has like a heart condition and shit.
Let's see. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, right there. In a follow-up tweet, the tweet.
Oops.
Oh, you passed it.
There we go. In a follow-up tweet, the Twitter user said the teen has a serious heart condition that could be triggered very easily by being hit in his chest back. He's a kid and has never been in any kind of trouble with the law. Well, now he has.
He had a switcher suite on him. What do you want this police officer to do? Not enforce the law?
I mean, this kid is just a scrawny little fucking twig. This cop is a fucking burly ass motherfucker. It's crazy to think that you need this level of force to just deal with this fucking this problem here.
Over a swisher.
Yeah, give me the swisher suite. Shouldn't be smoking.
Yeah, like just grab the swisher and be like, you're underage. Don't be smoking. I don't know.
Like that seems like it would have solved this pretty easily.
I mean, plus, what's the cop gonna do? Stand on that kid's fucking shoulder the rest of his life? If he wants to smoke and be an idiot, you take the cigarette from him, but that's it.
Oscars to admit streamed films next year as coronavirus upends moviegoing. Los Angeles. The organizers of the Oscars said on Tuesday that films released only on streaming platforms or video on demand while movie theaters are closed due to the coronavirus pandemics would be eligible for the Academy Awards next year. The temporary change, which will apply only for next year's Oscars and will lapse when movie theaters reopen across the nation, was announced in a statement by the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. Previously, a movie had to be screened in movie theaters in Los Angeles for at least 7 days to be eligible for Oscar consideration. The Academy firmly believes there is no greater way to experience the magic of movies and blah, 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 blah. Look, this is so outmoded and outdated, guys.
Yes.
Like, would you stop?
Totally.
Like, this should not be about where a movie is displayed. It should be about the quality of the fucking film itself. It doesn't matter if it's released to streaming, doesn't matter if it's released to theaters, doesn't matter where it's fucking released. The distribution method of the movie should not be a fucking factor in considering the artistic merits of the fucking feature, right?
It needs to be shown in the greater Los Angeles area for 7 days, TJ. That arbitrary standard must be met for the movie to be good.
Yeah, if this like what if there was a movie that was just like inarguably like one of the greatest masterpieces ever made, but it didn't fucking meet that stupid criteria? They'd just be like, nope, can't consider it. Oop, didn't show in Los Angeles for 7 days.
It's just another example of the movie industry capitulating to this movie theater industry that they just no longer need. Like it no longer needs to be this exclusive thing. And in fact, all of the signs are pointing towards that dying. It's slowly but surely people are doing these simultaneous releases on VOD and in theaters. You know, it's just, I like going to the theater, but I grew up in a different time where that was still a really relevant cultural thing. It's less so these days. I think even less so amongst like, you know, people that are way younger than me.
It's, you know, I'll say in my experience, it's still pretty popular, but it's not as necessary. It's more just like a family outing thing at this point. It's not like you have to go to the theater to get the entertainment you want. That's just not necessary anymore. And the Oscars shows yet again why it's increasingly irrelevant, why its ratings continue to drop. And it's just it's so outmoded. It's so out of touch. They're not even allowing films that come out online. It's like they're just trying to gatekeep film, and they've just done it for such a long time. It's like, oh, you can't win an Academy Award unless you're
how
showing LA.
how a film is distributed has nothing to do with the artistic quality of the fucking
No,
film, which is the only thing the
all.
Oscars should consider in the first place. This is a trailer for a flick called 2 Minutes of Fame. I have no idea what it's about.
Okay.
What's up with y'all, baby? It's DeAndre McDonald.
All right, I hate it already.
Well, this is horrible. Sorry, everybody.
Who is DeAndre McDonald?
DeAndre McDonald.
Man, wow. Seeing all those other characters that I don't care about talk about this main character that I don't care about really makes me care about this main character that I don't care about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, TJ, but who is DeAndre McDonald?
Oh,
TJ?
shit. That question is provocative to me. I need to know.
What up?
I don't care about them.
Wanna be comedian. I'm the real thing.
He does a good impression of you, though.
How can I make the most amount of money while selling out the most amount of people?
So you think I should have him killed?
Dre, I work hard and I hold us down, but you do whatever you want.
I'ma talk like Kevin Hart. Tell you why? Just because you're more handsome man than I am. I'm not
That's not funny.
doing
So
whatever
this is
I want.
Jay. What's his name? I can't remember his last name. The lead character guy he's like an impressionist.
Okay.
He's been around for a while.
Gotcha.
So this is just this is a movie venue for him to
Do
impersonate
impressions.
a bunch of black comedians, probably.
Cool.
I'm following my dream.
You have a family. At a certain point, following your dreams is irresponsible.
Dre, you got into the Laugh Out Loud showcase. We going to LA, man, all expenses paid.
Maybe the time spent there chasing your dreams is better off spent here chasing a paycheck.
Eddie Murphy be a dope ass GPS. Your ass was to the south. Your ass went north. If you would have listened, you would have been in the right place. But now you stuck.
Kill me. Please
No.
kill me.
Yeah.
Please.
How you like that Eddie Murphy impersonation though, TJ?
Yeah, it's something. Could you kill me?
You ready for 90 minutes of this, TJ? Because
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
2 minutes of fame coming soon.
Oh my. So you checked out my set.
I peeped it. You weren't bad.
Every second is elevated. Heartbeat of it accelerated. Dre, you don't even know this girl, man. She could be a temptress.
No. I ain't gotta worry about this. Ha! Big dog. Earth? Earth. You know what? I'm just gonna call her.
You convinced
This looked
everybody around
hilarious,
you.
well written, well acted.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I'm really fucking getting sucked into the drama of the situation as well. You know, this looks like it could make you laugh, it can make you cry. You know, it's got everything.
Believe in you, and you don't believe in yourself. Don't be late for your little showcase, Playboy.
Jay Farrow, Cat Williams, Kiki Palmer. It's time to stand up. Get it? All right.
That looks like dog shit.
Yeah, that was
That looks
something.
really, really bad and unfunny.
All
and
right,
just-
Rick Wiles. What you got, Ricky? Ricky Wiles. Why can't I fucking full screen this? Whatever.
What if they made us believe Wuhan had massive death, that the entire city had to be fumigated? What if it was all a propaganda campaign to introduce a virus in America to bring down the U.S. economy? Look, it's also
Wow.
possible the entire...
Yeah.
I'm blown away.
What if, guys? What if?
That's what keeps me up at night. I'll be honest with you. It's like, what if the Chinese made a virus to release into America to cripple our economy? I can't go to sleep. Knowing that's an
if, Scotty? What if, brah? What if?
What if? I know they did it, dude.
Damn.
I know. Come on, TJ. I'm having beams sent into my brain right now telling me, okay, did it happen? Yes, it happened. Confirmed.
Oh, it happened.
Yeah, it's been beamed in my
Wuhan
brain directly.
pandemic was staged. For what purpose? To destroy the American economy.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not saying that it's that there's no virus here. I believe that absolutely there's a virus here. 55,000 people are dead. But what I'm saying is maybe it never happened in Wuhan. Maybe the entire thing has been a calculated, well-planned, well-choreographed, well-executed attack on the USA, because nothing has ever shut us down like this. And as you said, Edward,
you know what the best thing is when you hear shit like this? Because like when you hear people, when they're making an argument against something, it's like, they did this ingenious attack, this Machiavellian scheme that we've been played to perfection. Then don't you have to kind of admit that your enemy is superior to you in just all ways? That you've been outthought, outmaneuvered, and just fucking spanked like a child? Is that how you want to think about America, the greatest country in the world? What fucking logical sense does that make? If you really believe that, that's pretty much what you have to believe. It's like
all the shit we saw coming out of Wuhan, that was all fucking fake, dude. There was never a virus there. There was never a virus in Wuhan.
Right now, they're just laughing at us.
Only in America.
I will say this, though. Rick Wiles he's gotten an appearance upgrade here.
Yeah, dude.
He looks better with the goatee.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He looks less like a total fucking shyster sleazebag piece of fucking shit.
He's still got the ring girl hanging out behind him, though.
You look at the freeze frame, though. He's on a computer on his laptop. I don't know what he's doing underneath that desk.
First time in the history of America that churches have been closed from coast to coast.
All right. You guys should have seen the one I watched last night, man. It was like so fucking nuts. He was talking about how like he's going to like gather up an army and like strip Bill Gates naked and like all kinds of shit. It was crazy. Yeah.
We get the fuck crumbs from TJ's table, huh?
Well, this is the one from today. The other one, I mean, I can show you whatever.
Crumbs from TJ's table.
Scraps.
Table scraps. And that's it. We're done.
I see.
We're back to the beginning.
We've come full circle.
We've come full fucking circle.
I'll tell you what, gentlemen, it's been a circle mainly of shit. Like
it's been a circle
of shit.
Sure. There was that one good story though about the dogs, so that gave me some like my faith in humanity contracted several points, but then was 0.3% raised by the.
There you go.
There you go.
That's always good. Yeah, so thank you guys for tuning in for Flash Fried. We will see you next week with another one of these.
See ya.
And we'll see you Friday with a new show.